Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbana zidna ilma. Allahumma faqihna fid din. Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafiya wa rizqan tayyiba wa amalan mutaqabbala. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. So here we are with our session number 68, Alhamdulillah. So we'll inshallah start with our review. Let's see. I have for you. So who can tell me what is this? I'll open my chat too. Can you hear me? Alhamdulillah. Okay. So the word kul, in terms of siga, when I asked you the siga of this word, what do you think it is? Okay, amr. What tells you this is an amr? Yes, it is amr for anta. Yes. But what helps us identify that this is an amr? In case, it is not with kasra, when you see it without a kasra, missing sign of mudare and majzoom status. Very well done. Barakallahu feek. There is no sign of mudare. There is no alamatul mudare, and the sukoon at the end helps us identify it as a amr. Barakallahu feek, my dear sisters. Okay. So let's see. Allahumma. What do you think this is? Yes. So you can, yes, from there, yeah, Makulul call is started. But before that, because we have not learned it together, if I asked you that, what is Allahumma, which is translated as, oh Allah, so what is it going to be? It is your munada along with your nida. Is it here you are seeing nida first or you are seeing munada first? What are you seeing first? Is munada being seen first or nida is seen first? Harf nida is seen first. Yes, it is munada Allahu that has been placed before harf nida. What did I tell you in our last session about ya? When it will never be omitted. In which case it will never be omitted. There are 6 or 7 reasons that it is never going to be omitted, but this is one of the reasons that yes, when your word is the one being called is lafzul jalala. Lafzul jalala, the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is Allah, you will never see it being omitted. Either it is going to be substituted by mim mushaddada, or you will see it like Ya Allah. Okay? Everyone with me so far? Right? We did it, and I just wanted to make sure that we go over it, and this is something that you are able to, the information, you are comfortable with this information, and you are able to digest it, inshallah. Okay. Then I see Fatiras Samawati. What is this construction? First level, Arab. What are we seeing here? It is an idafa. Barakallahu fi. What is the status of your mudaf, my dear sisters? What is the status of mudaf? Nasb. Why is it nasb in status? It's an idafa, and it is again something that is being, it is, no. Yes, you can call it, but maful bihi to what? Let me tell you one thing. We have not done this concept, but always remember one thing. When you have something like kul or qala yakulu, kul or qala yakulu, and the whole family of kul and it's all its associated af'al, the statement that comes after it just becomes an inverted comma statement. Okay, you put inverted commas there. In Quran, do we see punctuation? Do we have punctuation in Quran? No, we don't, right? But it is understood. How do we get it? Because we understand the Arab of everything, and then we can put appropriate inverted commas or comma and question marks and exclamation marks, right? By learning the Arab, by learning what is fail amr, by learning what is fail nahi, by learning what is just a simple, plain statement. Is it making sense or no? This whole thing is now in inverted commas. And yes, it is. The whole thing is maf'ul bihi, but this one is going to be nasb because of what reason? Here, the whole sentence is maf'ul bihi. So when you have a whole sentence that is acting as a one unit or as one ism, what are the Arabs that are given to that sentence? What do we call it? Do we call it? Is there a specific statement that we can use and we can just, yes, we can use. So is it just nasb or fi mahalli nasbin, right? Right? Fi mahalli. Then comes our concept of fi mahalli nasbin, because now it is the whole statement that is going to be our maf'ul bihi for kul. But that I have not taught you that topic. I was not going to go into that. I was just going to restrict myself to nida munada. Okay, so now come back and think about, we are learning, we are reviewing something, and we just did nida munada in our last session. So now think about that, Sister Zora, and now give me an answer. Why could be Fatiras Samawati and why could not be Fatirus Samawati? Is Allahumma, oh Allah, oh the creator of the skies and the heaven. So what am I doing with Fatiras Samawati? Whom is it? Is someone who is being called or no? It is also, it is, so it is it fi mahalli or is it the right? Yes. So it is also your munada. It is also your munada. And do we need to use fi mahalli here with Fatira? Think about it again, Azra. Do we need to use? No, now we don't, right? It is in the appropriate status, right? Do I need to use fi mahalli with Allahu, with lafzul jalala? What do you think, Sister Samina? When one is being called, he's not doer of an action. He is the receiver of an action. What do you think? Should we call Allahumma fi mahalli nasbin? Isn't Allah not the doer of an action? We are Allahu here. I call Allah, right? So who is doing an action? I am doing the action of calling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, lafzul jalala. So here it is fi mahalli nasbin, but it is non-flexible with dhamma because it is an ism alam, it is a name, and when a name is being called, it is non-flexible with dhamma. When a name is being called, like Ya Shuaibu, Ya Hudu, Ya Nuhu, Ya Lutu. Does it make sense or no? Are you guys with me? When we are calling someone, that person is receiving an action. They are not doing an action, right? They are object or the receiver of an action. So in that case, their status should be nasb. But in Arabic, what happens is when your munada is a name, just think about it as a name. It is going to be rough in status. It's going to be rough in status. Yeah. When you are calling something that is common as well, but it is something specific that you are calling, what will be the status? For example, if I give you an example of Ya Nar, what should be the haraka on Nar? Dhamma or fatha? Dhamma. But in actuality, Sister Zohra, in an actuality, what is the haraka on that? What is the status of that nar? What do you think? When you think about it, is nar doing an action? No, it is not doing an action. It's a receiver of an action. Therefore, it is going to be nasb status, right? So what happens is, it's a very simple something that if we know it, it makes something our concepts very easy. If I use a word unadi, unadi is unadi. Let me just write it here, and let me see if I can bring it to you, because the way I'm going to do it, it's not going to be um, this one. If I sorry, it should have been. What does this word look like? Unadi. 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 Nada yunadi. Nada yunadi. Now think about it. It's a fail. I call. I call. Isn't it? It's a fail. Everyone, yeah, right? It looks like a fail. There's a sign of, what is this hamza? Just because I cannot put a haraka, but I can call this alif, is this straight line is carrying a dhamma, so it is a hamza. This is a hamza. So this is a hamza, and what is this doing here? It is alamatul mudare, right, Azra? As you have wrote it, it's a mudare, and this is alamat sign of mudare. So now what's the pronoun here? I. Very well done. Barakallahu fi. Now I write ya. Okay. I call versus ya. I call versus ya. What is easier? Which one looks easier and quicker and makes job easy? Simple ya, right? Ya is easy. Ya. Oh, Fatima. Oh, Fatima. Oh, Yusuf. Isn't this easy? Or I should say, I am calling you Fatima. Which one is um, more budget economically better? Don't you think yeah is better, Sister Samina? Right? Yeah is better, right? Easy, small thing, and the job is done. So this was actually, this unadi or yunadi is a fail that is all that is implied here. Okay, that is implied here. Let me see here. So unadi or yunadi is a fail that is implied here. You are not seeing it, but when you write mim mushaddada in place of ya, isn't it more economic, like more effective, small, and you get a job done? When you say long sentences versus you say one word, a punchline, which one is is more effective? The small, when you have only few words and the punchlines, they work very well, right? So similar principle is being used here. Instead of calling yunadi, he calls, and then he then comes Allah, and the whole Allah. So Allahu, and no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it easy for, and Arabs made it easy for themselves, upon themselves, and they just use ya And there are few more, but we will concern ourselves with ya, because that is the one that you will see in Quran. And or in case of lafzul jalala, if ya is not there, you will see mim mushaddada. You will see mim mushaddada, and this mim mushaddada is awid anil harf nida ya. This is substituting your harf nida ya, and you all have to memorize it. If you don't, that's not going to be good. Okay, will you be able to memorize this part? That this mim mushaddada is replacing our harf nida ya. Okay. Every time now you see Allahumma, you must be making lots and lots of du'as, since it's a month of dua, right? So when you are making your du'as, and there are many du'as that start with Allahumma, so remind yourself that this mim mushaddada is harf nida ya. So now here, Fatira Samavati. So yes, it is, if I say Ya Fatira Samavati, or I say Allahumma, isn't it one and the same thing? Right? The same entity is being called, because you and me are not the creator of skies and heaven. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is understood that Fatira Samavati is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Sometimes, there is an ambiguity, but in this case, is there any ambiguity that this is, we are calling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? But when we are calling someone, and the one being called is whatever is being called is in an idafa relationship, what will be the status of mudaf? We learned mudaf is going to be always nasb in status. So that is the reason your fatira is fatira, because it is munada. It is again munada. And since now I'm not going to call munada, I am just going to, since I just told you that I can substitute one with another, it's the same thing. We are talking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I can, what is a term that we have been lightly using here and there? It starts with ba, letter ba. And one word. Yes, munada is nasb, and this is, this and this is, they both are the same thing. So what can we call fatira? Badal. Yes, it is going to be called badal for Allahumma. Okay, you can call it badal for Allahumma. Some may call it a sifa, and yes, fatira is one of the sifa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it makes more sense if we call it badal. Personally, I find it more appropriate if I call it badal. Okay. Wal ardi. How will I connect wal ardi with whatever was before? Atf. Barakallahu feek, and you are just going to call it as matuf. You are not going to call it mudaf ilayhi. You are just going to call it matuf, because this is not your mudaf ilayhi. It is just majroor bil atf. Okay. Will you all understand this? And remember this? Because this has been, taught time and time again. Now comes alim al-ghaibi. Alima. What is alima? Why is alima nasb in status? You are going to, you can also call this as, we call this one as badal. So this can also be, your badal, right? Alim al-ghaibi, again, it's majroor bil idafa ghaib, and then was shahada waw atf, and this is going to be ash-shahadati is going to be majroor bil atf or majroor bil waw. Because of waw transfer the status, and when I say majroor bil waw, it should be understood that you all should be able to understand that this is jar in status because of murakkabe atf. Everyone with me so far, my dear sisters? Okay. No, not due to samavati. Where samavati? Why are we calling it a shahadati? But this is too far. Fatira samavati. Samavati was majroor because of it was mudaf ilayhi, and al ardi is majroor because of waw transferred the status from as samawat to al ard, right? And here al ghaib is majroor bil idafa because of idafa, and waw transferred the status to ash-shahadati, right? And we are just connecting it through at fragment. Okay. So now I hope that part is clear so far. Is it ever possible that I have Lafzul Jalala, that is Munada, and I do not have Ya? Is it possible to omit Ya when Lafzul Jalala is being called? No, no, it is not possible. It will be there in some form, either in form of Ya or Mim Mushaddada. Mim Mushaddada. That is the something that we were doing in our last session as well. And yes, either Ya or Mim Mushaddada. And Mim Mushaddada, if anyone asks you, and that is going to be me, people are not going to ask you, but sometimes people may also ask you when you are teaching someone, and they will ask you, Sister Azra or Sister Samina, what is this Mim Mushaddada here? And at that time, you are going to teach them that this Mim Mushaddada is substituting your Har Nida Ya, because Lafzul Jalala is one of the indication where you cannot omit your vocative particle, which is har, nida, ya. Okay. Okay. So what is somewhat we are seeing here? What is this sentence here? Jumla ismiya. So anta is going to be your mubtada, and then comes tahkumu. It's jumla failure, and your khabar is jumla failure. Very well done. And tahkumu is going to be your khabar, and baina ibadik. What can you call it? Baina ibadik. Idafa. So it is, baina is your mutalik bil fail. You can easily call it. Ibadik is your again idafa. Baina ibadik one idafa. Ibadika is again another idafa. Fima. What are we going to call it? Fima. Jar wal majroor. Barakallahu feek. And this is also going to be your mutalik bil. But Fima is going to be your mutalik bil, right? It is again another jar majroor. It should be also your another mutalik bil, fail. And then what should be the status of ma here? Jar. And what is ma? What have we learned about this ma? Mausul. When you see Mausul, what do you look for? You look for the Silatul Mausul. Always look for Silatul Mausul. And this Kanu fihi yakhtalifun is going to be your Silatul Mausul. I have not taught you Kana, so I'm going to leave it as such, but you should be able to label it as Silatul Mausul. Will Silatul Mausul have any Arab? Will I say, very well done, La mahalla lahu min al-Arab? Will this sentence have any Arab? What is the Arab for this sentence? Yes, this will have Arab because this is your, very well done. This was your khabar, and this is going to be called fi mahalli raf'in. Barakallahu feek. Very well done. Okay. So this far, everything is understood. Every time you see any anyone being called, tell yourself that there was a fail that was omitted, and ya is replacing that fail, and that is why whatever is coming with ya should be nasb in status, right? It's not doer of an action, it's actually receiver of an action. This unadi, yunadi, or nada, nadu, and all of that was there, but it was replaced by simple ya, because ya is budget friendly. Okay, easy so far. Now anyone is confused about whatever we are learning? Now comes Rabbi. قد آتيتني من الملك وعلمتني من تأويل الأحاديث. So Rabbi, what is this doing here? Or actually, let me take you to the second part of the verse, because then it will be easy to go back to it and figure it out. Okay, now this is Yusuf alayhi salam talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, calling him Fatiras samawati wal ardi. What is Fatira here? Fatira is an idafa. As-samawati, right? Fatira samawati. It's an idafa, number one. Yes. Right? Idafa. Second step. What is its role here? Why is it nasb in status? Yes, Nazir Umri, I wanted them to do this one and then go back and, they were, yes, they are, you can just call it, or he was again calling. No, that's no problem. That's no problem. But, just see here, why is it nasb status? Because it's again, Yusuf alayhi salam is calling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you call someone, and if the one being called, the name is in idafa relationship, so what will be the status of mudaf? What did we just learn? The status of mudaf in that case is always nas. And do I have to write fi mahalli now, anything? I don't need to write any fi mahalli because it is nas. Is it a right status for Fatira? Is it the correct status? Is it defining its role? It is the right status. It is telling you the role that this word has in the sentence, because it is telling you that someone is being called and they are appropriately showing their status in the nasab form, which it should be, because this entity is the receiver of an action, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the receiver of an action, right? Yeah, so creator of the skies and the earth. So here it is going to be, it is nasb status, and that is how it should be. That's okay. Is it understood now? Right? It is munada. Where is your harf nida? Where is your harf nida? Do you see one? Do you see your harf nida? Is it possible? Is it permissible to omit nida, harf nida? What did we learn in our previous sessions? It is possible. It is possible to omit our harf nida, because there are many duas in Quran. Qur Rabbi zidni ilma. You skip over lam and you just join kul to Rabbi. Qur Rabbi zidni ilma, right? You don't say kul ya Rabbi zidni ilma. No, you just say Qur Rabbi zidni ilma. It is allowed. It is permissible to omit your harf nida. The one condition that out of 6 or 7 that you are at this point going to learn is lafzul jalala. Lafzul jalala, in this case, you cannot omit harf nida. You will see it either ya Allah, or you will see it in the form of mim mushaddad. Okay, it is allowed to omit harf nida, and that was in your previous section as well, right? So, but that's okay. Now Allah Yusuf alayhi salam starts his dua. It's calling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with his sifat, and that is the correct way of performing tawassul. And what does he say? Anta waliyi fi dunya wal akhirah. What are we seeing here? Anta waliyi fi dunya wal akhirah. What kind of a sentence? Jumla ismiya. So what is going to be the labeling for anta? It is going to be mubtada. What is going to be the labeling for waliyi? And there are many yas here. If this is mubtada, the next should be, it is your khabar. It is your khabar. Now waliyi, and I'm telling you there are many yas here. How many words are there? Very well done. Very well done. There's an idafa. There is ya mutakallim attached there. That is why the word is still with kasra. Okay. Waliyi is with kasra because there is ya mutakallim attached here. Okay, so it is your khabar, and you have learned in the past every ism that gets ya mutakallim at its end is going to be with kasra, is going to be written with kasra. The word is not jar in status. The word retains its status, but it is just how it is written, and it is easier for the word to be pronounced if it is with kasra. Okay, fi dunya, what am I going to call fi dunya wal akhirah? Fi dunya, first fi dunya mutalik bil khabar, wal akhirah atf. Very well done. And al akhira is going to be your matuf. Very well done. Waw is your atf. So everyone knows how to connect everything together, right? Now, after calling Allah the way he should be called, performing correct method of tawassul, now Yusuf alayhi salam request Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala something. Tawaffa. Tawaffani. Tawaffa. Tawaffa. It's a fail. Now, what are the root letters for tawaffa? Very well done. Very well done. It is a fail dua. It's a dua because we are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yusuf alayhi salam actually is asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is fail dua. And what is called fail dua? What becomes fail dua or fail talb? Yes, it is waw, fa, ya, right? Waw, fa, ya are the root letters. Do you see your ya? What does it help you determine? If ya is omitted, fail is majzoom, because there are three ways to make fail majzoom. Either you omit ya or waw or alif, either you omit noon or you put a sukoon, and that happens in the case of a fail that has a sahih letter as its last letter, right? If it is ra, mim, ba, any letter other than alif, waw, or ya, if the word is ending with any sahih letter, it is going to get sukoon. Otherwise, if it is ending with noonul i'rab, it is going to be omitted, which happens in the case of af'alul khamsa. If it is ending with a weak letter, like this word, in case of this word. So what is, it was originally ya that was omitted, but when you see it in the case of fi'l mudare, your ya is changed into alif, but we don't need to worry about it at this point. You should know that there was a ya in the root letter. I don't see it. My fi'l is majzoom. This ta is Rabbana taqabbal minna. Just like there are certain af'al that have ta as a part of their construction. It has nothing to do with alamatul mudari. Will you all remember this? We have gone over it briefly in the past, but remember, sometimes ta is there at the beginning of a fail, and it is not alamatul mudari. It is just a part of the word structure. And inshallah, when we will learn the morphology of Arabic, inshallah, we will learn how to distinguish one from other, when you will be able to figure out if it is really the alamatul mudari versus it is a part of the family. So tawaffani, you take me back. Yes, just like taqabbal. Yes, just like taqabbal is fail dua. Similarly, tawaffa is a fail dua here. Ni, what is the status of this ni? Nasb and status. Azra, one word or two words? Ni. One word or two words? Who remembers? No. Who remembers? Ni. Two words. What are those two words? Always remember. Noon and ya. Your ya mutakallim, that is a very, very, I sometimes, to come, there are certain concepts that, that should be very clear. Noon is a harf, that is noonul waqaya. It prevents a word from getting what? Because everything that ya is going to attach itself to, is going to make it have a kasra. So what is the noon doing here? Noonul waqaya, which is a shielding noon. It is protecting our fail from getting a kasra. When we have a word inni, so inna, the harf inna gets a kasra just because of ya attached to it. But when we have a word innani, does our word get kasra when nunul waqaya comes? No, right? Something we have done it in the past, the types of noon. So I really want to make sure that, when we are doing these sessions, we make sure that, we don't, number one, we should not forget about whatever we have learned before. And number two, we should we should be able to know what is the job of everything that is being taught. Like, the only purpose of teaching you Nunul Vakaya was not that there's a fancy name that you need to learn. The purpose is so that you understand if the ya was directly attached to the wafa, it would have been getting a kasra. And to prevent it from getting a kasra, Nunul Vakaya is brought in. And Nunul Vakaya is a harf, right? A harf. And then you have your ya mutakallim, right? Okay, so Musliman. What is Musliman doing here? You take me away. You take me away, Musliman. Yes, yes. How? How do you take me away? Hmm? So when something answers your how question, is it going to be your maful bihi or is it going to be your hal? So what is the condition that needs to be met for hal? What do we need to see? When we call something a hal for something, what do we see? The number is matching. Remember, always remember, my dear sisters. Is the number matching, my dear sisters? Ya mutakallim, one. Musliman, one. Singular, both singular. Are they both same in gender? Yes, they are same in gender, right? Are they, is hal common? Very well done, yes. Sahibul hal is proper, which all pronouns are proper. And Musliman, which is hal, it is common. Everyone with me so far? Okay. So just do this one in 1 minute, okay? Wa al-hikni. Wow is going to be your at al-hik. Al-hik. Sakoon at the end. Sakoon at the end. It's an amr, right? It's an amr. There are, just like there are some words, there are some af'al that have additional ta as their part of the word structure, just as some af'al has ta, additional ta as a part of their word structure. In addition to the root letter, some words have hamzatul qata, this hamza as a part of their structure. Okay? So this hamza is not alamatul mudari. Don't confuse it with alamatul mudari. This is a part of word structure and just focus on whatever came after. Al-hiq is your amr, and context is also going to help you, but understand the concept, understand it fully as well. So again, noon is noonul wakaya, harf, and ya is in ism, which is nasb in status. Bisolihin. Bisolihin. जार वल मजरूर मुतालिक बिल फेल. Okay. What is, let's just quickly do this before we in. From which family does this word belong? What category of word this in is from? Is a ism, harf, or a fail? In lam lamma, so it is harufe jazima, right? In lam lamma, lila is from harufe jazima. Do you see anything majzoom after it? Yes or no? Quick. Na'fu. Na'fu. No? This is not majzoom? Ain, fa, waw are the root letters of the word. Now tell me. Waw was dropped. Therefore, it is mudare majzoom. Noon is alamatul mudare. Okay? Noon is alamatul mudare. So now this in, what type of in will this be? Is it going to be in nafiya, in jazima, in mukhaffafa? In jazima is also in shartiya. Jazima, right? Right? Everyone with me? Ta'ifa. What do you think? This, what is this? Jar wal majroor, can we call it metallic bin? Okay, so we will minkum is also minkum is directly connected to ta'ifatun. So I have not taught you that concept. So I'm not going to worry about it at this point. So you can just put a question mark there when you are attempting it on your own. But come to nu'azib. What is this nu'azib? Is it majzoom, mudare majzoom? It's failed, that is mudare majzoom, bisakoon. Everyone with me so far? Why is it majzoom? What made it majzoom? Very well done. I just wanted to make sure that you all remember that in, along with lots and lots of other asma, can affect two af'al. Can affect two af'al. And here, there is no role for waw. If there was a waw, then you can never say that in was making mudare majzoom. No, then you would have only said majzoom bil atf. Yes, then it is majzoom because of atf, not because of in. Always remember that. I just wanted to make sure that you all remember this. Okay. And I'm glad to see that you had an understanding that in can make two mudare majzoom. So I think that was enough for a review. Let's just go back and now I will fix this. Okay, got fixed. Okay, so we have done this a little bit. Now no one should have any confusion. Why Fatira Samawati wal Ardi? When you see these duas now during Ramadan and after Ramadan, your duas should never end with Ramadan. Duas should continue till the end of our lives, inshallah. So Fatira Samawati, now everyone should know that there was a ya there that is omitted, and it is permissible for ya to be omitted. Right? We did it last week and I think week before as well. I hope everyone is with me. And then we did this part. And my dear sisters, this ayyuha and ayyatuha. At this stage, I'm teaching you a bayyana way because I think it's too much, at this stage. So inshallah, very soon we will cover this the way it should be covered. Okay. Bayina way means, in a simpler way so that, you all have at least some understanding that if there is an-nafs or if there is al-mu'minuna, there will be ayyuha. If there, those ayyatuha and ayyuha, when you are expected to see these ayyuha and ayyatuha. Okay. So, but inshallah, we will learn it in future as well and the way it should be understood. So again, in this, you will get this in slides as well, that Ya Allah and Allahumma is one and the same thing. I hope it is something that you all have gotten an understanding of. Okay, there are more reasons when you will not see Ya, when you will not see ya, but those are, not applicable, or you will, there are more reasons when ya cannot be emitted. But this is the most important that I would want you to remember, because it is so commonly seen. You all make duas and you should have complete understanding of this. Okay, then I told you in the last session that there's a condition when you will not see the one being called. And this condition was, one of the reason for this could be when the word later follows ya. It is in this case permissible to omit munada, the one being called. Do you see one being called here? You don't see. Ya laytani. Layta is a harf. Is a harf. Harf nasiba, right? Ni is mansub because of layta, because it is ismu layta. Then comes kuntu ma'ahum fa'afuza. What is happening here? What do you think, my dear sisters? Look carefully, look carefully, look carefully. Because I sometimes really trick people. don't don't yes, there is, but we are not thinking along those lines. I have just given you one word. Okay, so one word, or two combination of two words, fa and afuza. So fa has after it, what is hidden after fa, Sister Zohra? Does it exert an action on its own, or it has something hidden after it? An, right? No. Fa has an mudmira. Mudmira. That is, it is hidden after it. An is hidden after it. Always remember that. Okay. Okay. So, what was the condition that you are going to see your fa? Last week we were doing a verse, and I was my real apologies, because it was a tough day for me. Subhanallah, because I am weak, as you can tell, and being a human, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said that, He has made human being very weak. So I did not give you a good explanation, but let's see. Coming back to what the verse is in front of us, and forget about whatever, our condition is. What did I tell you? When will you see fa? You will see, and you will call any fa sababia, or there are certain conditions for it that have to be there for the fa to be called fa sababia or causative fa. Does anyone remember few conditions? No, not shartiya, not at all. That is fa faul rabta. Aslube talb, after aslube talb. So this causative fa or fa sababia, either it will be seen after negation, it will be seen after negation, and negation you have learned, right? If there is a negative sentence, you are going to see fa after it. You can see fa after it. Ma alayka min hisabihim. This one we have not seen ma with jumla ismiya, but ma here is translated as not. La is not. La yukda, la nafiya. So after nafi, you can see fa sababiyya. Can you see fa sababiyya? Can you all find out that there was a fa and after it mudare is mansub? Right? Right? Here, la, fa, ma, fa. So after negation, you can see fa sababiyya. Then you can see it after aslube talb. And what is talb? When I tell you she is a good girl, am I demanding anything from you? Yes or no? I need those answers. I need everyone now to be active. No, I'm not. What am I giving you? She's a good girl. Information. Yes. So there are two kinds of sentences basically in any language: informative sentences or demanding sentences, or sentences that that desire, command, or query, or doubt. They are not statements of fact. You cannot say wrong, you cannot say true or false to them. Like if I asked you, go to your room, can you call this statement false or true? It's a command, right? You cannot call that statement yes or wrong, a right and wrong statement, right? Go to your room, just a command. Is it an informative statement? No, it is a command. I'm demanding something from you. So when you have some kind of a demand, desire, query, that all comes under talb. Okay, that all comes under the umbrella of aslub talb, because these are the statements that are not statements of fact. I'm not giving you any information. Okay, I'm not asking you is it true or false. No, I'm just telling you something to do. I'm so just desiring something, demanding something, querying something, or doubting something. Okay, so the first thing that you were told that you will see fa sababiyya after is a command. Okay, after a command form, you will see fa sababiyya. What is the meaning of sababiyya? Sabab, reason, or as a result, right? Means, so aslim, you submit, surrender to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Aslim is a command, right? Aslim, fatadkhulul, fatadkhulul jannah, fatadkhulul jannah. So what kind of fa am I seeing here? That is being followed by mudari that is mansoob in status. What am I going to call this red fa? And I know it's easy to now pinpoint that this is fa sababiyya, but just see, you have to meet a condition and then this will happen. This fa is going to be, if you submit, if you follow this command, aslim, then what will happen as a result of that? As a result of that, you will enter Jannah. Make sense or no? Now, what happens? So this is one form that you will see your fa sababiyya. Then you will see it after your prohibition. Like la tamassuha in Surah Al-A'raf, people of Salih alayhi salam were being told, don't touch her. Don't touch her. Bisu'in. Don't touch her with evil. فَيَأْخُذَ فَيَأْخُذَكُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. What is happening to Yahuda? Is it in its regular default form, which is rough? No. So what is fa? Fa is fa sababiyya. Do you see a slube talb here? There is any talb here? We are demanding anything from people? Was he demanding anything? No, Salih alayhi salam asking, don't touch, right? Don't touch her. Don't touch her with evil. Otherwise, painful punishment will seize you all. Is it making sense or no? It's not going to be one day thing. This is not going to be one day thing, but I am going to, just throw it out at you. And I am going to make sure that with more practice and, when we are doing long verses, you should be able to understand why something is being translated as it is being translated as. You should have the background knowledge of that. That is the whole purpose of you learning with me, my dear sisters, to understand and translate and comprehend Quran and to have deeper comprehension of Quran. So it's not, just a superficial knowledge that you know some verses and yes, and that's it. But no, otherwise you could have, word to word. So you don't need me, right? So then you can see it after your, after your question particles, after your question particles, and after your question nouns. Okay. So do you see anything here? فهل لنا من شفعاء. Do we see any question here? Hal. Hal, right? Hal is a question. And is it a harf or an ism? Is it a harf istifham or ism istifham? Very well done. Only two harf. Remember, Hamza and this. Hamza istifham, Hal istifham. There are two haruf only. Rest are all isms. Are there any intercessors for us? فَيَشْفَعُوا لَنَا, so that they intercede for us. So what is happening to yashfa'una? Why is it not yashfa'una? Because fa is here, your fa sababiya. Fa is going to be fa sababiya. Is it making sense or no? Yes. So it is consequentially, you will have a, this is there, so this will happen. So if there are any, are there any intercessors there for us? Sometimes you will just, are there any intercessors for us so that they intercede for us? So sometimes you will translate it as that. Sometimes that fa is going to be translated as a result of. Sometimes that fa is going to be translated as in that case, or otherwise, like a painful punishment will seize you. If you touch her, painful punishment will seize you. You submit so that you enter Jannah. Sometimes you will translate it as so that, sometimes you will see it otherwise, sometimes you will see it as a result of. So all those meanings are going to be there for your fa sababiyya. And they're all correct meanings, and the correct meaning will be chosen based on the context. Okay, you need to know, you need to look for, when you have a fa followed by a nasb word, mudare mansoob, what are you going to look for? Either is my word, the sentence before it a negation, is the sentence before it aslube talb, and in aslube talb is my sentence before it demanding something, and that fa is a response to that demand. So here, are there any intercessors for us so that they intercede for us? This is the result of that, the demand that is being put here. Making sense or no? And if it is not, it's not something that everyone is going to be very master of, but when that there is something, people survive very well even without understanding that there is a fa sababiyya. There are certain conditions when we will see fa sababiyya. In the beginning, I have no idea where fa sababiyya will be there, will be found. Even if it was fa atifa, if the mudare was mansoob after it, it will be for me fa atifa. But it may, even if it was fa sababiyya, but but with more practice, we know how to distinguish one from the other. So qalu alam, this hamza, what is this hamza here? Hamza is harf istifham, and then you see fatuhajiru. Can this be fa sababiyya? Yes. Hal indakum min ilmin. Do you have any knowledge? Do you all? Is there any knowledge with you all? Fatukhriju. Fatukhriju. So now again fa is. You are seeing hal followed by fa. So can you call it fa sababiyya? Yes, you can most certainly call it fa sababiyya. Okay. Then the one that we were doing the last time, that if there is an expectation, a taraji means you are expecting something. So when you are hoping or you are expecting, what are you doing? Are you informing someone something, or you are demanding something? I wish I could go to mall. I wish I could have that. I wish I could have this. I'm not informing. I'm asking for something. I wish I could eat. So what am I not expressing a desire? I'm demanding, right? It's just expressing a desire. And should it be under talb, or should it be um yeah, yeah. So just always remember that when we have this. And what is the word that is associated with taraji? What did we learn when I was teaching you haruf in nasiba for ism, harf nasb wa ismuha, I taught you there that la'alla la'alla has a meaning of at-taraji, which is an expectation, right? It is an expectation. You're expecting, hoping something, right? You're hoping something. So when you see la'alli, perhaps I, maybe I, hopefully ablu, I climb it. And why he was asking for that? Here, fa is going to be, what should I label this fa? It's against sabab. So la Allah, and here, this is all connected. Your verses, your sometimes your verses um continuing, the sentence is continued, right? It's in the end of the verse does not mean the end of a sentence. Just like in case of alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin ar-rahman ar-rahim maliki yawmiddin, right? The sentence ends at maliki yawmiddin. You all remember that? Oh my god. Again, and similarly, when you have this wishful mode, when you are when you are hoping for something, again, when you are perhaps this was, perhaps I, or yeah, later, I wish, I wish I was with them so that I was successful. So this is later is basically wishful mode. Taraji is basically expecting mode. You're hoping for something. You really want something. You are hoping that I hope this happens. And later is that you're expressing a desire. So you will see after ya laytani fa afuza, you will see fa sababiyya after that. Okay. So with that, I will end the session, and I will inshallah share my slides with you, and inshallah we will look at them again, inshallah, because I'm not going to do anything until after Eid. That is, after Eid we are going to start new topic. Okay. So subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Eid Mubarak to you all as well, inshallah. So do we have any session after this session, or we are done? What were the dates for your time off? Let me